Hi everybody, and welcome to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. On this video, I've got two posts from Am I the A-hole, and one of them is a special community request. So if you want to get started with the stories, then just use the timestamps below the video. Now I'd like to thank all of you that support my videos and myself. Thank you so much, your support means a lot to me. And if this is the first time watching one of my videos and you like it, then consider subscribing to the channel and joining us on Discord. Now let's get started with today's stories. This post is from the subreddit Am I the A-hole, and it's by user No Crap Sorry. Am I the a-hole for calling my in-laws gold diggers for insisting to know how much my new job pays? I'm male 28 Canadian and my fiance female 26 and her family are from Latin America. My mother and father-in-law found out about my new job and wanted to have a private conversation with me without my fiance, so they invited me to their house. They invited me into their guest room. My father-in-law asked me to leave my phone and keys at the dining table. They started talking about my new job. They had no idea how much I get paid and asked me to tell them about my salary, but I politely declined to tell them. They asked me why. I just bluntly told them it was none of their business. Father-in-law chimed in saying, "You're marrying my daughter, damn right it's my business," and kept on about making his daughter's future secured. I assured him that his daughter is in good hands, and besides, money isn't everything and love and respect are what's important. Mother-in-law disagreed and said that money is an important factor, then gave examples of issues I'll have in my marriage if I'm not capable of providing for my family. I refused to tell them, but again assured them that I'm doing well financially, so no worries. Mother-in-law refused to drop it, claimed I was being disrespectful by treating them like they were some strangers asking about how much I get paid, and demanded I give her a number. I got so annoyed and wanted to excuse myself to the bathroom, but father-in-law got up and locked the door. I asked what the hell he was doing. He told me to calm down and that he'll unlock the door when this conversation is over. I blew the F up and told him that their behavior is unacceptable and what I earn is none of their goddamn business. Then told them that only gold diggers behave like this, and right then they were giving me huge red flags. Mother-in-law gasped loudly and father-in-law immediately unlocked the door and asked me to leave his house. I grabbed my phone and my keys and walked out. Mother-in-law already called my fiance and was crying, saying I disrespected them in their house and called them gold diggers for just asking how I was doing with my new job. My fiance was upset, but I explained what her mom and dad did. She said I'd not only hurt her parents, but hurt her as well by calling them gold diggers, and I owe them an apology, but I refused to. I asked if she thought what her parents did was okay, but she reminded me that she's with me because she loves me whether I'm rich or poor, and it doesn't matter what others think. My fiance never cared about money nor acted materialistic. She works as a babysitter and happy with it. She said that I needed to apologize for calling them gold diggers and hurting their feelings for being worried about us. Although I assured them I'm doing well financially and that should have been the end of it. But I guess I escalated, they escalated, and now I'm refusing to apologize. My relationship with them might suffer if I don't. Am I the a-hole? OP, in my opinion, no, you are not the a-hole. You are absolutely right. It is none of their business how much money you make. I personally believe it is incredibly rude to ask someone how much money they make. And just to get it out of the way right now, I don't understand why you felt you needed to make that distinction of you being from Canada and her family being from Latin America. Because, just as a reminder, there are gold diggers in every continent, country, and culture. But to your issue, yes, your in-laws are being a-holes, and I don't think you should apologize because what they did was rude. They should apologize, but I'm guessing they won't because if they're gold diggers and they felt that offensive for you calling them out, I'm pretty sure they're going to try to pull the fake offended kind of thing and act like it was all your fault. And I believe the real issue you're going to have right now is what side your future wife will pick, because that will tell you a lot about the type of marriage you will have. What do you guys think? Let me know your judgment in the comment section, and now let's take a look at the community comments to see their judgment. Chiquita Banana Kush says, not the a-hole, but deeply consider getting a prenup and reevaluating your relationship. Your in-laws are gold diggers, and your fiance's reaction to it is deeply disturbing. She has her parents' back before yours. Just because your fiance may not be exhibiting materialistic behaviors now, doesn't mean she won't ever, given what you just witnessed with her parents. The apple clearly doesn't fall far from the tree. Almost Alice 64 says, they locked you in a room with them without your phone or keys? Definitely not the a-hole. If you're going to try and make it work with her, set boundaries now. Do not apologize for acting like anyone would in that situation. They weren't just rude, they were threatening. And the thing is, I'm sure your girlfriend knows how they are. Fresca Cool says, not the a-hole. So they low-key kidnapped you to get your financial info. Does your fiance know what you do for a living, how much you make? Do you know how much she makes? Because you guys will need to start making a budget, planning how you'll save for retirement, etc. So this info, it's kind of important, but just for the two of you. It's no one else's business but you two. Your fiance should be mortified and not asking you to apologize. This is a red flag all around. And OP responds, yes, she does know, and we've already talked about finances before. Well, the community definitely thinks OP is not the a-hole, and that this whole thing is a huge red flag, particularly for how his future wife reacted. Hopefully they can now have a better conversation once things have cooled down a bit. As for us, we move on to the next post. The next post is from the subreddit Am I the A-hole? And you might have heard this one in other Reddit channels, but one person from my community asked me to read it because they're interested in my opinion. So Aurora, here we go. This one's from user Throwaway Order 3. Am I the a-hole for refusing to let my husband eat dinner with me and the kids? This might sound silly, but my husband loves food. Not gaming, not YouTube. His weakness is FOOD. I don't hold this against him in any way, but he eats a lot. He's fit and regularly attends the gym, and sometimes I find myself cooking bigger portions of food because he'd attempt to eat from our daughter's plates, leaving them still hungry. We always run out of snacks as well, so there are times when I have cooked twice a day. Yesterday at 4 p.m, I was out with the girls to get new haircuts. I already prepared dinner and left it in the fridge till we get back. I told my husband that I've put his portion aside for when he got back from the gym, so he could go ahead and eat if me and the girls were going to be late. I called him at the salon and he said he got home and had his dinner and was doing some work in his office. At 8 p.m, me and the girls returned home and I quickly went into the kitchen to reheat dinner because we were so hungry. I opened the fridge and the food I prepared was gone. I asked him and he said he felt hungry after eating early and ate our dinner. I was angry, kept thinking what we were going to eat. I kept looking for other options, and when I asked about other foods, he kept shaking his head saying we already ran out of this and ran out of that. I bluntly said he was selfish to eat the girls' dinner. He said he couldn't help it. He's always hungry. I went to order food from the restaurant for just me and the girls. When our order arrived, I called the girls and sat to eat. A few minutes later, he walked out of his office and was upset that we didn't call him to join us for dinner. I told him he already had dinner, not once, but twice, and that I did not include him in our order since he's already eaten. He lashed out saying that I was doing this deliberately, ordering food from his favorite restaurant. Pretty much all restaurants are his favorite, and excluding him from dinner and teaching the girls to treat him as he was unwanted at the dinner table. I called him selfish. This dinner was for me and the girls since he already ate our previous dinner that I spent time making. He admitted he was wrong to eat our dinner and said he felt bad afterwards, but said it was totally worth it. There's no doctor, therapist, or pastor that could help him out with this problem. He's just a man who loves food. But I was behaving passive-aggressive towards him and implying that him liking food is a problem, which is incorrect. We argued for minutes, then he went back into the office saying I should feel bad for excluding him from our meals. Needless to say, he hasn't spoken to me ever since and keeps teasing the girls about no longer sharing his snacks with them since they were okay with me excluding him from dinner. Am I the a-hole here? In my opinion, OP, no, you are not the a-hole. He should not have done what he did. I particularly believe that he is the a-hole for the way he's behaving towards your daughters, by taking food off their plates and teasing them about not sharing his snacks because they were okay about you excluding him from dinner. I don't think a parent should behave this way. Now, regarding your husband's attitude towards food, I think there's something bigger at play here. When you said in your post that he was selfish, his reply was that he couldn't help it, he's always hungry. And that reminded me of an episode from CSI where the person ate themselves to death. And they did that because they had a condition which actually made them feel like they were never satisfied and were always hungry. Unfortunately, I couldn't find which episode this happened in, but I did Google the condition and I came up with the following. There is something called the Prader-Willi syndrome, and it's caused by a genetic problem on chromosome number 15. This syndrome is a constant sense of hunger that usually begins at about 2 years of age. People with Prader-Willi syndrome want to eat constantly because they never feel full. Hyperphagia. Now, if that's the case, then your husband is wrong. Maybe doctors can't help him out. However, if that's not the case, then he is a total a-hole for doing what he does. Now, where he says that there's no doctor, therapist, or pastor that can help him, that leads me to two different conclusions. One, he's never asked anybody and just thinks that this is something that he does, which would not make him an a-hole if it is Prader-Willi syndrome. Or two, he has gone to the doctor, he doesn't have Prader-Willi syndrome, has gone to the therapist and talked to a pastor, and they just can't help him because he won't quit doing what he does. And in that case, he's a massive a-hole. However, OP is asking about her excluding the husband from dinner and if she's an a-hole for that, and I don't believe that OP is an a-hole for that. And that's my take on this whole situation. What do you guys think? Now, let's take a look at the community comments to see what their judgment was. Chalu Mo says, not the a-hole, but what are you doing? Staying with a man that will literally take food out of your kids' mouths all day, every day. Objective Locksmith 4 says, you're the a-hole for letting your husband abuse your daughters like this. Why aren't you protecting them? It's harsh, but what is it going to take for you to see his actions? Get off of Reddit and sort your house. Or at the very least, see a therapist for why you permit this to happen to your children. Someone needs to start protecting them. Thrill Doctor 1 says, not the a-hole, but your husband has a serious problem that needs to be looked at. No one is just that hungry that he eats his children's food and still wants more, but doesn't care that his kids have no food. He needs help. Has he always been like this? Well, the community is kind of mixed up regarding what the judgment should be, so it's like all over the place. But the one thing that they do agree on is that the kids are being abused by the dad taking food away from them. And on that point, I do think that the community is right. There is definitely something going on with the husband that he needs to address, and OP has to do something about this as well, because the one thing we agree on is that the kids shouldn't be going hungry. And this would be me projecting my own parenting style. I won't take food away from my kid's plate, because why? If I'm hungry after dinner, I'll go get something else to eat, and if there isn't anything else in the house, I'll get takeout or go to the store. However, I've never felt like I can't control that, and that's something that apparently OP's husband can't do. And that's the only reason why I have a slight inclination to thinking that this could be a medical issue. And it's that time that we've reached the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed today's stories. I certainly did reading them to you. So if you did, then go ahead and give the video a like, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and become a member of our Discord community that just keeps growing, and it is fantastic. And like I said in the beginning of the video, all of the relevant links are in the video description below, so be sure to check them out. And finally, I'd like to thank you all for taking the time to watch this video. It really does mean a lot to me that you guys enjoy this content, so thank you once again. And having said all that, I will see you guys in the next video.